Let's bring in Dan Arbell, who's the former deputy chief of mission over at the Israeli embassy in Washington and scholar in residence at American University in Washington. He joins us now from Rockville in Maryland. Dan, good to have you on the show. The Knesset is in recess because of the Passover holiday. How do you think things are going to play out when we come out of this?
So, negotiations started on Tuesday between opposition leaders and coalition leaders. And there are negotiating teams that have begun meeting each other at the president's residence in Jerusalem. The gaps between them are extremely wide. The level of trust between them is very low. And I'm not very optimistic as to their ability to actually succeed and reach a breakthrough. But they'll give it a go. They'll try for a few weeks. The Knesset comes back from its recess at the end of April, beginning of May. We'll see what happens then. If there's no movement forward in this coming month, then it most likely we'll see in the beginning of May the coalition back again trying to advance the law, the legislation, and the opposition in the streets protesting it.
As a person who's very familiar with U.S.-Israeli ties, I'd like to ask you how much you think that President Biden's outspoken criticism, as well as other international pressure, has had any effect, if any at all, on Prime Minister Netanyahu taking a step back.
Definitely Biden's reaction and his administration's statements are clearly, they play into the considerations of the Prime Minister. He does not want to further deteriorate the relationship, and I think he's very much aware of the administration's anger and frustration, especially after he fired Defense Minister Gallant, who was seen in Washington as the responsible adult in this government and somebody that the U.S. admires and can talk to. And that was, I think, the last straw that broke the camel's back, as we say. So I think that definitely a continued firm U.S. position is important in delivering the message to Netanyahu that he has to consider serious changes in the legislation, if not to abandon it altogether.
So he's got international pressure. There are, in excess of 100,000 people out on the streets protesting against the complete abandonment of this judicial reform. I'm wondering if the political future of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is in question at all.
It's a great question. It's right now, he's got a solid coalition, a firm majority of 64 out of 120 that allows him to govern. There are fissures inside the coalition, but right now he's managing to keep everyone together, including his coalition partners who are very much on the far right. The question is whether in the next few weeks, whether if he makes concessions, he may anger some coalition partners. If he abandons the reform altogether, he may lose some partners. So while it's solid and stable at the moment, it could definitely change within a few weeks.
Okay. Dan Arbell, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us here
Thank you.
this evening on
Thank
Judicial.
you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.